Under the warm sun of the Gulf Coast, where vast marshes, estuaries, and coastal bays meet the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico, one of America's most iconic fisheries has thrived for centuries: shrimping. These small crustaceans, whether fried, boiled, stewed, or stuffed into gumbo jambalaya and countless other dishes, have become not only a culinary staple, but also an economic lifeline for thousands of fishing families. Today, the United States harvests billions of pounds of shrimp each year, with Louisiana, Texas, and Florida serving as the beating heart of the industry. Shrimping has deep roots in American history. As early as the 18th century, settlers along the Louisiana coast recognized the abundance of shrimp in shallow lakes and coastal bays. Early techniques were simple nets cast from small wooden boats, or even by fishermen wading into the shallows. The catch was sold fresh in local markets, eaten the same day by families who depended on the bounty of the sea. Later, the influence of immigrants, particularly Chinese communities, introduced drying racks and curing platforms, allowing shrimp to be preserved and shipped overseas. By the late 19th century, with canning technology advancing rapidly, the market for shrimp expanded dramatically. No longer was this just a local food, it had become an international commodity. As the industry grew, boats evolved too. The earliest shrimping vessels were inspired by Mediterranean sailing craft, adapted to the shallow waters of Louisiana's bayous. These luggers, flat-bottomed, shallow draft boats were nimble enough to navigate twisting waterways, yet strong enough to carry significant loads. Over time, as engines replaced sails, these vessels became faster, more reliable, and capable of towing larger nets. By the 20th century, offshore shrimping fleets had developed, powered by diesel engines and equipped with refrigeration systems that allowed them to spend weeks at sea catching and freezing shrimp in bulk. For many fishing families along the Gulf Coast, shrimping was more than a job. It was a way of life. Generations passed down the knowledge of when to set nets, how to read tides, and how to repair gear after long days on the water. Communities along the Louisiana bayous and Texas harbors still celebrate this heritage with festivals, parades, and ceremonies like the blessing of the fleet, where priests pray for the safety and prosperity of shrimpers before the boats set out for the season. The combination of tradition and innovation has always defined this fishery. Yet, as with all natural resources, shrimping is shaped by challenges: rising fuel costs, environmental pressures, imported competition, and strict regulations designed to protect both shrimp populations and the broader marine ecosystem. The story of American shrimping is not just about abundance. It is about resilience, adaptation, and the enduring bond between fishermen and the sea. Now let's step aboard and see how modern shrimp boats outfitted with powerful trawl nets, hydraulic winches, and advanced navigation equipment bring in billions of shrimp each year. From launching at dawn, to hauling heavy nets glistening with life, to the sorting, freezing, and shipping that follows, this is the journey of America's shrimp fleet. Out on the Gulf of Mexico, as the sun climbs above the horizon, the workday for a shrimping crew begins. The boats, some sleek and built for shallow waters, others towering offshore trawlers, are prepared for the most important task of the day, setting the nets. Modern shrimp trawling depends on specialized gear designed to sweep the seafloor without destroying it. The nets used are enormous, conical in shape and attached to wooden or steel otter boards. These boards act like wings, spreading the mouth of the net wide as it is dragged behind the boat. The bottom edge of the net is weighted so it hugs the seafloor, while floats keep the top edge lifted, creating a wide funnel that directs shrimp inward. Inside the net, tickler chains or small ropes stir the sand gently, causing shrimp to jump upward into the trap. The science behind these nets is remarkable. A single trawl net can cover the width of a football field, and on a large offshore boat, multiple nets may be deployed simultaneously. Hydraulic winches lower the gear into the water and pull it back after a drag, lasting 1 to 3 hours. Each retrieval can yield hundreds, sometimes thousands of pounds of shrimp, depending on the season and location. Life on deck during this process is demanding, as the captain monitors sonar, GPS, and fish finding equipment to locate the most productive grounds. The deckhands prepare for the heavy haul. When the net is finally winched aboard its bulging catch bag, or cod end is hoisted high and open, out spills a torrent of wriggling shrimp mixed with bycatch like small fish crabs and the occasional stingray. Sorting begins immediately. Crews work quickly with gloved hands and sorting tables separating shrimp from debris. Bycatch reduction devices, now legally required in U.S. waters, help minimize the accidental capture of turtles and non-target species, a major step forward for sustainable fishing. Still, every load must be checked carefully, with unwanted species tossed back into the sea. The valuable shrimp are measured and graded right on deck. Depending on size, they may be classified into categories like jumbo, large medium, or small. This grading is critical for market pricing, as larger shrimp fetch a much higher value. Once sorted, the shrimp are either stored on ice in insulated holds, or more often on modern vessels immediately frozen using onboard freezers. Individual quick freezing IQF technology allows each shrimp to be frozen separately, preserving texture, flavor, and quality for months. Working these nets is grueling, often continuing day and night with little rest. Crews rotate shifts, and the rhythm of hauling, sorting, and icing becomes second nature. Between sets, there's time to repair gear, cook simple meals in the galley, or catch a brief nap in cramped bunks. For many, shrimping is not only a job, but a test of endurance, skill, and teamwork. Inshore fishermen working smaller boats in the bays and estuaries use scaled-down versions of these trawls or butterfly nets, which resemble wings mounted to the side of the vessel. These are especially effective at night when shrimp rise closer to the surface. Offshore boats, by contrast, pursue the deeper waters of the Gulf and Atlantic, sometimes staying out for weeks at a time. Every catch hauled aboard is more than seafood. It is the result of centuries of adaptation. The nets may be bigger, the engines more powerful, and the refrigeration more advanced, but the essence of shrimping has remained unchanged. Hard work, sharp instincts, and a profound respect for the sea. Once the shrimp are secured in the icy holds of the boat, the next stage of their journey begins processing. Depending on the type of vessel, much of this work may be done right at sea. Larger offshore trawlers often carry advanced freezing systems capable of handling thousands of pounds of shrimp per day. By freezing the catch within hours of being hauled aboard, the delicate texture and sweet flavor of shrimp are preserved until they reach global markets. Onshore shrimp are delivered to specialized processing plants where efficiency meets precision. The first stop is the unloading dock, where massive baskets of shrimp are lifted directly from the boats and poured onto conveyor belts. From there, the shrimp pass through cold water rinses that wash away sand debris and any remaining seaweed. Workers and automated sorting machines then separate the catch by size, discarding damaged shrimp and ensuring only the best quality continues forward. One of the most important steps is deheading. Machines or skilled workers quickly remove the shrimp heads, leaving the tails intact. Some shrimp are peeled and deveined for the ready-to-cook market, while others are left whole for restaurants and export. In each case, strict hygiene protocols are followed, and the entire process happens in temperature-controlled rooms to keep the product fresh. After cleaning and preparation, shrimp head in two directions: fresh packaging or frozen storage. Fresh shrimp are packed on crushed ice in insulated boxes destined for local seafood markets, grocery stores, or restaurants just hours away. Frozen shrimp, on the other hand, are often flash frozen using IQF tunnels, locking in flavor and nutrients. These frozen packs are vacuum sealed in durable plastic bags or boxes and stacked neatly in massive cold storage warehouses ready to be shipped across the world. Processing plants today aren't just about volume, they are about quality control and sustainability. Optical scanners with AI-driven technology check each shrimp for defects, ensuring consistency that meets the high expectations of international buyers. At the same time, byproducts such as shrimp shells are increasingly repurposed into valuable materials like chitosan used in medical supplies, biodegradable plastics, and even water purification systems. From sea to factory, every stage is designed to maximize efficiency while maintaining quality. By the time a shrimp cocktail appears on a restaurant plate in New York, Tokyo, or Paris, it has already passed through countless hands and machines working together in harmony. Once shrimp have been processed, the next critical step is distribution. And this stage reveals just how far-reaching the industry truly is. In the United States alone, billions of pounds of shrimp move each year through a vast logistics network. Trucks fitted with refrigerated trailers line up at factories loading pallet after pallet of frozen blocks and insulated boxes filled with iced shrimp. These vehicles then fan out across the country, delivering fresh catch to regional hubs, supermarkets, and seafood markets within a matter of hours. Beyond domestic sales, exports drive a huge share of the industry's revenue. American shrimp, both wild-caught and farm-raised, find their way to Europe, Japan, China, and increasingly, the Middle East. Each market has unique demands. European buyers prioritize traceability and certifications for sustainability. Japanese importers often seek premium quality shrimp for sushi, while Chinese markets absorb bulk frozen shrimp for large-scale consumption. Modern cold chain technology ensures that shrimp harvested in Louisiana or Texas can arrive in Paris or Tokyo with their freshness nearly intact. But along with economic opportunity come pressing challenges. Global competition is fierce, especially with the rise of farmed shrimp from Southeast Asia and South America, which often undercut prices. Imported shrimp has surged into the U.S. market over the past decade, creating frustration for Gulf Coast shrimpers who face higher fuel gear and labor costs. Many small-scale fishermen say that even if they bring in a strong catch, they struggle to compete with cheaper imports. Environmental pressures also weigh heavily on the industry. Coastal wetlands, critical nursery grounds for shrimp, are vanishing at alarming rates in Louisiana. Each year, thousands of acres of marsh disappear due to erosion, rising seas, and human development. Pollution and nutrient runoff from upstream rivers also alter the delicate balance of coastal ecosystems, affecting shrimp populations. Regulations such as mandatory turtle excluder devices on trawl nets have been necessary to protect marine life, but also add costs and complexity for fishermen. Despite these obstacles, the shrimp industry remains resilient. Generations of families continue to pass down knowledge of shrimping, blending tradition with modern innovation. Festivals along the Gulf Coast celebrate the culture of shrimping, from the blessing of the fleet ceremonies to community cook-offs featuring shrimp boils and gumbo. These cultural events remind us that shrimping is not just an economic activity. It is a heritage deeply woven into coastal identity. Looking ahead to 2025, the industry faces a crossroads. New technology, from satellite tracking of shrimp stocks to AVM. Driven trawl management offers promise for efficiency and sustainability. At the same time, shifts in climate and global markets force shrimpers to adapt faster than ever before. The question is whether the balance between profitability, environmental protection, and cultural preservation can be sustained. Shrimp may begin their journey in the quiet marshes of Louisiana or in the open waters of the Gulf, but their story ultimately ends on dinner plates across the world. And this final stage is where their cultural importance shines brightest. In American cuisine, shrimp are everywhere, boiled and seasoned in the classic shrimp boil of the South, battered and fried into golden baskets served with cocktail sauce, sautéed in garlic butter for fine dining, or tossed into pasta and stir-fry dishes for busy weeknights. Their versatility is unmatched, and their flavor bridges the gap between comfort food and luxury dining. Beyond the kitchen, shrimp symbolize connection. For Gulf Coast families, catching shrimp is not just an occupation, but a legacy, with fathers teaching sons and mothers, passing down recipes to daughters. Communities celebrate the harvest with vibrant festivals where the blessing of the fleet honors both tradition and survival. In coastal towns, these gatherings are more than ceremonies. They are declarations of resilience against storms, economic hardship, and changing seas. Globally, shrimp are a powerhouse commodity. In 2024, the worldwide shrimp market was valued at over $60 billion, and by 2025, demand is expected to climb even higher. As rising middle-class consumers in Asia and North America seek more protein-rich diets, shrimp stand out because nearly the entire body is edible. They can be preserved in countless ways: frozen, canned, dried, or pickled, and they adapt to almost any cuisine. Whether it is fried calamari-style snacks in Asia, paella in Spain, tacos in Mexico, or gumbo in New Orleans, shrimp transcend cultural boundaries and bring people together. But with this global appetite comes responsibility. The industry is under pressure to reduce bycatch, protect marine ecosystems, and ensure that shrimping remains sustainable for future generations. More research vessels now patrol the Gulf of Mexico, monitoring shrimp populations and regulating fishing zones. More factories are adopting closed-loop water systems to reduce waste. And more consumers are asking, where did this shrimp come from? The answers to those questions will shape the future of the industry. As the sun sets over the Gulf, shrimp boats return to harbor nets, heavy, and spirits weary but proud. The day's harvest will travel across oceans and onto countless plates, carrying with it the flavor of tradition, the weight of history, and the promise of tomorrow. Shrimping at its heart is not just about food or profit. It is about the enduring bond between people, water, and the abundance of nature. And as long as the tide rises and falls, this story will continue echoing in every shrimp boil, every seafood market, and every family gathering where shrimp takes center stage.